and good evening. Welcome back to the podcast that explores the world within and out. And thank you for subscribing to Traveling Inside Out, wherever you get your podcast from. And if you could rate it on Apple Podcast, I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Before getting into today's episode, in which I'm going to tell you about how I experienced Las Vegas in 2 days, I just want to remind you the previous two episodes. They were live, recorded live on YouTube, and because of that, you get to see the video. So if you go to Spotify and find the podcast, you can see the video of me recording the last two episodes. I might do one live per month. We will see. I'm still playing with it and learning how things go. But until then, just enjoy the video of it. Las Vegas. It's a one-of-a-kind city, and most of people have it on their list that they want to visit at some point. And we managed to do just that. As my husband said, our trip that was for a week, Las Vegas was for his birthday, and then the rest of the trip in which we saw the Grand Canyon, and then Bryce Canyon, and then Zion Park, all of that was for the honeymoon part. So let me tell you about Las Vegas. First and foremost, our flight was delayed. I hate when they do that. I hate when they are saying that the delay is 15 minutes, but it's ending up being like 1 hour or like 30 minutes or like 45 minutes or whatever. I think we made a little bit of the time in during flying. However, the idiot that I am, it's so confusing being in the United States and flying within the United States and having such a long flight. I remember I was on the flight ready to go, like ready to surf, and they announced that this is a flight of like 5 hours, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wait, what? I thought it's like 3 hours. I was already, oh my God, I'm underprepared for this long of a flight. This is the same time that it takes from New York to fly to Iceland. I'm like, I wasn't prepared for a 5 hour flight. Anyway, I was listening to a book, and the book was for like around 3 hours. So with breaks and all that, I managed to listen to the whole book, and I was really happy about it. Okay, we arrived in Las Vegas rather late. It was a evening flight, so it was rather late. And we arrived later than usual. And I remember, we decided that we're gonna just take a cab, like a yellow regular cab, because our accommodation was like 5 minutes or 10 minutes drive, no more than 10 minutes drive from the airport to where we were staying. And little did we know that it was a long queue for the taxis, and the taxis wouldn't arrive. Because, can I say something? I'm gonna sound like a New Yorker right now, but at least in New York, as fucked up as this, like everything is fucked up in this city, right? Right. Okay. Everybody agrees with me. Okay. Cool. And now I get to shit on the city because I live in the city. So at least the fucking taxi drivers are coming faster. Like the cars, they just keep coming and coming and coming. We were on a line for, I think, maybe 40 minutes, I think around 45 minutes or so, just to wait for the taxi drive, like to wait for taxis. It was just, ugh. So we finally get into the taxi, and since I'm going to tell you where we stayed, but I felt a little bit insecure about how to pronounce the name of the hotel. I was asking my husband, like, can you read it? Because like, you're a native speaking English, right? So he says the hotel, and then the guy asks, which one? And I'm like, there's no hotel that has the same name. It might be the same, like the same brand, but they don't have literally the same name of the hotel, like word for word the same. And I'm like, what do you mean which one? So I was like so confused, and husband looks at me, and I'm like, well, that's the hotel. I don't know the address. Does he want to tell him the address? I don't know. So the hotel where we stayed was Club Wyndham Grand Desert. And as I was saying, it was kind of 10 minutes away from the airport. It was not on the strip. It was kind of like 10, 15 minutes walk to the strip. And it depends how you walk. But the main point why I decided to go with this accommodation was that it didn't have any resort fees. So that was great. And I was like, I don't want to pay the resort fees, especially in Las Vegas. It can be somewhere like around $100 per night. And we were there for 3 nights in total. And I'm like, nah, I'm not paying. No, no, no. F that. I'm not doing this. And so we chose a hotel that didn't have this resort. It was an apartment actually. Like it had full on bedroom, full on living room, proper kitchen in the living room area. The bathroom was also very big, so I was very happy. The only thing that I didn't like was the fact that I feel like I've asked for a higher level kind of a apartment, but we got like first floor or something. Anyway, we got there, we checked in, and we arrived there like on a Saturday night. As I was saying, I think we got there around midnight. After midnight, was it 1 a.m.? I don't remember. When we got to the hotel, so then we finally went to sleep, and we woke up in the morning. We were planning to go for breakfast out. It was Sunday morning. To see the first time seeing Las Vegas, to see it on a Sunday morning when there are not so many people, and it's just things are just starting to be opening up, and you are like, what is, like, trying to feel the feel of the city. Also, I haven't visited a new big city in a while now. So it was a little bit of I don't know what to do. What am I supposed to do in another city? Because usually I go, when I travel, and you can listen to all of the other podcast episodes in which I'm talking about my travels. I'm talking about, like, I usually go to places that, obviously, what I haven't been, but like not these kind of famous cities. And it feels a little bit like I wasn't very well prepared for visiting Las Vegas. But at the same time, I didn't want to make very many plans because we were there for 2 days, and I just knew that my husband wants to actually go to some of the casinos. And I also knew that I had a surprise for him because remember, this was a birthday trip. But before that, we went for breakfast. And we were like, I don't know. So then I literally pull up the phone. We got on the strip, and I pull up the phone, and I'm like, let me see where can we go. And I checked on Google Maps, like what's a nice, because I don't want to just enter into a place. What if it has bad reviews? Which is something that I would have not thought about, like not even 10 years ago, let's say. So we randomly end up to Cafe Hollywood. That is actually famous for serving breakfast all day. And then it has 1 million pictures of all of these stars that have been to that place. So we were like, well, maybe it's okay. It was expensive. I can tell you that much. The food was great. It was rather busy. And I feel like they were a little bit overwhelmed because, like, I asked for a splash of milk for my black tea, and they wouldn't remember. Like, twice I asked for it, and I'm like, how difficult it is. Like, I know. United States, they don't necessarily put milk in their black tea. I know, but, like, it doesn't matter what I want to do with it. If I'm asking you a splash of milk, you give me a splash of milk. It's none of your business what I'm doing with the milk, right? Like, it doesn't matter to you. But the food was great. Nothing to complain about. And then we walked for a little bit more, trying to get a little bit of a feeling on how the town is and so on. And then we just decided to go back. Now, let me explain some things. As I said, it was a birthday trip for my husband, and I decided to surprise him with 4 presents. So in order for me to be able to do that, because he is 40, so I was like, I'm not gonna do 40 presents because I don't have that budget. So I was like, I'm gonna make 4 main things. Now, to be honest, one of them didn't happen. It needs to happen eventually at another time. It didn't work mostly because of the weather conditions. So one of them was stargazing in a national park, but the weather conditions were really bad, and also we were really tired. So I don't even think that we would have be able to do it. So that was a bit an overstretch. However, um, the other two presents didn't happen yet, so I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want to spoil the surprise. But the one that I had for Las Vegas was to visit the high roller. So because we only had 2 days to spend in Las Vegas, I wanted to tell him already, even though his actual birthday was a little bit later in the week. I wanted to tell him because I was like, I need to tell you about the presents because I need you to know that we're about to go on the high roller. Um, and so we decided to go on the high roller. The funny bit is that we were in a taxi to get to our hotel when we left the airport, and then he's telling me, like, he sees the high roller in the distance, and he's telling me, oh, my friend told me about the high roller. And for a second I was like, please God, don't tell me that he said that it's a waste of time or like not do it or it's like a tourist trap or like whatever. Please, 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 please. And I'm like, and they said that like they went with a younger, I don't know, sibling, cousin, whatever it was, and they were saying that it was going too slow. And I'm like, yeah, but that the kid, maybe the kid didn't understand that this was not like the high roller it's not like when you go to amusement park through, but for a second I was like, please don't tell me that he's about to tell me that the surprise I have for him is not gonna it's gonna be something he doesn't want to do. But it wasn't the case. I didn't say anything at all. But then the next day I was like, okay, I need to tell you what is this about. So we go and do more walks. Then we basically, the strip is literally like the main boulevard, and then you have hotels and all sort of buildings, let's call them resorts and blah blah blah, on each side of the main avenue. And like you also have the mimicry of the Eiffel Tower. We were not interested in seeing the part with New York because we were coming from New York, and I'm like, that feels a bit like whatever, man. I'm not. We live in New York. Like, why would we go and see the New York bit? Like, we're fine. And so eventually we cross the street, and I tell him that I want us to see the Bellagio Fountains, which I wanted to compare them with the Dubai fountains because it's this melodic, like the fountains that are going up and down and waving and so on, flowing. How about saying flowing? On the music that is put, and it's a show that is happening depending on the time of the day, every whatever hour, or every 15 minutes, or every whatever. And I wanted to compare with the ones in Dubai. However, I've only seen the ones in Dubai during night. So I was excited to see them during day. And can you imagine? People were saying like, yeah, you should totally see them during day and during night. And I'm like, okay, let's see how we can do this. So we did that. And when we did that, I just realized, oh yeah, the main difference that I can tell you between night and day is that during day, especially since it was a clear day, like really beautiful, clear day with stunning blue sky, the rainbows, you can see rainbows that are coming up because of the fountains and the play with the water. And, I'm not going to get into the, how rainbows are created. So that was pretty cool. I'm not upset about that at all. We were on the side of Bellagio Hotel, so we had the backdrop of the Eiffel Tower over the street on the other side, across basically from the fountains. And it was really nice. Then we also, as I was saying, we were in the Bellagio hotel, and then we've seen some, like a garden space with flowers, and it was so, I don't even have the word for it, because there were natural flowers, but then there were also fake flowers. So we had like nice pictures and all that, but like it's a bit loopy, to say the least. Like, you expect when you go to Las Vegas everything is fake, just because. And then you get there and be like, no, they're going extra. They are like making you being like not understanding what's happening, because they are mixing fake with real. And somehow, for me, I don't know if it is, please, anyone else who you're listening to this and you have been to Las Vegas, please let me know if you felt the same. I felt more like my brain got more upset. I'm like, I was ready to see everything being fake. But the fact that you're mixing fakeness with reality, it's kind of fucking with my brain. Like, I can't put my finger on it. It's just that it's another kind of I can't even name it. Like, I don't know. But it was just like, I don't know what's happening. Then we decided to go back to the hotel, and we actually took a nap because we were tired from the previous flight, and we were also getting ready because we had a show booked. So we decided to go and see Cirque du Soleil, and that was happening like at 7 o'clock or something like that. And actually, I just realized that we went to see the Bellagio Fountains the next day. However, what we did before going to see the show, Cirque du Soleil show, we went to a sushi train kind of a place that was outside of the strip. So we had to take a taxi or an Uber. And we went there, had the food. The place was great. However, the sushi was so and so. I had better sushi in my life. And we went basically in Chinatown of Las Vegas. It was around that area. And then we had to take a taxi back, and we went for the show. Another one thing that I want to talk when it comes to transportation, they do have all sorts of transportation, and even our hotel had like a free ride to somewhere in the midst of the strip. We never use it, so we spend more money, but we took an Uber or a Lyft every time, basically. Okay, so the sushi, as I was saying, it was wherever. We went back, so now we're back into talking about Mystère, which is the name of the show that we've seen by Cirque du Soleil. It was my first time ever seeing Cirque du Soleil, and of course I've knew of them for a long time, and it was just something else. Now, I didn't know that I'm that anxious. I was a bit upset of myself and my reactions because, as you can imagine, there is like acrobats that are doing things that wouldn't make sense, like to a regular brain and to whatever you know of human beings. You're gonna struggle to understand how is that even possible, or at least that was in my case. And a few times, because it's like at the end of the whole thing, when I started to applaud, I was applauding because there were no necks broken, because I felt like the way that they, like some of the things that they were doing, it was just insanely dangerous. But I guess that's what happens when you truly practice your craft. So yes, that was stunning. It had also a comedic bit in it that I really loved. I'm not going to spoil it because I don't want to. I hate when people are spoiling. But there's just the main basically character that drags the story. There are actually two of them, so they are kind of funny and doing funny bits. And I've also enjoyed that because it was kind of helping me to like. Okay, calm down. Everybody's fine. Nobody died. Everybody jumped on the spot. I was just like, my brain was like, how can you do that? Like, how can you do that? It's just I to that day I can't. I have no words. I was way too impressed, honestly. So if you ever have the chance to see them, or you have the budget for it, just do that. Because believe me, you're not going to regret it. Okay, and after that, we had some plans. So we wanted to go and see a volcano show, and then also to see the um, as I was saying, the Bellagio. So again, I haven't seen the Bellagio fountains that day at all. So I was like, okay, let's just see them at least in the night. But then as soon as we came out of the hotel, it was way too cold and way too windy. And I was wearing a dress, um, and I was way too cold. And also, my dress was being blown away, and I was like, I don't want to show my under parts. I don't want to show my butt to everyone passing by me. So, unfortunately, we decided to like abort mission, just go back at home. And it was so funny because I was like, who comes to Las Vegas and goes back to their hotel room at 10 o'clock and doesn't leave the room no more? Who does that? It's so boring. But we literally do that. So the next day, we had big plans because we had to do the high roller. I wanted to see the Bellagio fountains, and I also wanted to see the night, um, the volcano thing. Oh, I forgot to say the previous night I decided I had like $5 cash. So I just put them in and I've lost them immediately. So I was like, okay, so that's my gambling. The following day, um, okay, the next day came and we had the breakfast at our accommodation inside because, as I said, we were able to cook a little bit. So I had some stuff with me. And then when we finally decided to go out, we took our time. But when we finally decided to go out, we went again to first and foremost, we wanted to go to the high roller because I have booked the tickets through booking.com, and it was saying there that you need to go and grab your ticket at least 1 hour before you want to go. And so it was literally in between their break or something, or just before their opening or something like that. So we had to wait a little bit. And then we decided to go and have a bit of food. And because of a friend was suggesting you should go and have In and Out because you don't have that fast food. And I was like, I don't care about fast food. But then my husband was like, okay, let's try In and Out. And I'm like, okay. So we had an In and Out. Then we went to Flamingo, which is a hotel, but also they actually have the actual flamingos. We went there to see the garden and the flamingos. And then we walked around the casinos a bit more, and we went and grabbed the tickets, and we wanted to be in the high roller during night because we thought that it's going to be more exciting in the night. And so we had time to kill. We went to the casinos, and my point was like, okay, let's go. And not me, my husband was like, I wanna bet some money. You need to bet some money and so on. So I decided that I'm gonna do the same. I asked him to give me $20 because I didn't have cash anymore. So I was like, I'm just gonna put $20 in, and then I did that, and then I put $2 more, and then I've lost all of them. Or I think I've lost like 50 cents or something like that. I had, and then my husband lost another amount of money, and then I was kind of upset because I thought we're gonna take our sweet time, so we had time to kill, but then damn, it was really fast. Like I think in a few minutes that was done, and I'm like, oh, okay. Then what the fuck are we gonna do now? I was really upset. I was so shocked and upset that I wanted to play more. Like, wait. Anyway, because it was a little bit too early for dinner, we decided to go and have a drink. And in one of the hotels, we found a place that had like a robotic arm that was making the drinks for you. So you go and you choose on a tablet what kind of drink you want. and that robot is gonna make it for you. Now the funny bit is that if you know anything about making drinks, you could mix your own drink. But I didn't, so I just went. I don't even remember for what. I had the drink. My husband had a drink as well, and then we walked a little bit more, and finally it was time for dinner. And my husband wanted to have barbecue, so he chose the place. I actually just got some wings, but it was a long. It was really weird because they brought our food really fast, like really fast. So, and I usually pay attention to other when something is wrong. I usually pay attention to other tables, and I saw two other people were like they brought the food really fast, and then the waitress, she just kind of make a joke like, that's kind of weird, and I'm like, I don't know if I trust this place. However, I remember that I asked for grits because I was like, this sounds like something that is coming from the south. I want to try the grits. And then it was like a humongous portion of grits with cheese. And I don't like cheese sauce. I just don't like it at all. And so it was so bad. It was really bad. I didn't like it, so I tried it a little bit. And then I was like, nope, I'm not eating this. I'm sorry, but I cannot eat this. And then we decided to go again to we decided to go again to the casino. But then we went again. No. I'm getting confused. We finally, when the time was coming slowly to go for the high roller. And in the end, we decided, you know what? I don't think we have the patience to wait until it's night. So what if we go around sunset time? And honestly, I think it was a brilliant idea. Why? Number one, there were not so many people, which makes me think that people want to go either during day or during night. So exactly that time, there was not so many people, in such a way that we were actually in the capsule with just two other people. That's it, the whole capsule. And normally it could be over 10 people in that capsule. So that was great. We were just with a mother and daughter. So that was great. So we were really able to look on all of the parts. What I didn't expect was the fact that there are digital screens and there's a voice talking about stuff. So that was a bit shocking. I was really happy that I was not scared, because sometimes when I get in this kind of stuff, I realize that I'm scared of the height, and it wasn't the case right now. So that was exciting. We've seen a brilliant sunset over all of the buildings, but then over in the distance there were the mountains, which I wish I would know more geography, but I don't know what mountains were they. So the sunset was so beautiful. We've even saw the fountain show and from above, and it was just so beautiful. Speaking about the fountain show, obviously that now, this day, during day, we checked the Bellagio Fountains during the day, but I've already talked with them about that, so it doesn't matter. Then after we did that, we decided to go and check the volcano. There is a volcano show, and I didn't know what it is. And I'm like, you know what? I'm coming from Iceland, and you know what? I've actually seen a live volcano erupting, which is something that I will never forget. And also something that my brain couldn't, like, my brain was like, this is very interesting high definition that you're having right now. Like, my brain could not understand that this is nature and I'm seeing a volcano in real life. It was like, interesting high definition happening. So this show was something different. Again, you can find a lot of videos online and so on. I think it's worth going. However, I think it only goes on the hour. So make sure you double check the schedule when you go. And maybe go like 15 minutes earlier, because if you want to get a good spot. Because if not, people are going to be gathering around it. And because of that, you might not see it as best as you want it to. Yeah. And then the last thing that we did was to see the Bellagio Fountains again, the night show. which was incredible. However, the music was meh. I was used with in Dubai, the music was more. I guess that's the difference between Dubai and Las Vegas. The music was more like classical, like Andrea Bocelli, or like like a little bit more classical. Like here, one of them was literally "Viva Las Vegas" by Elvis, and that I didn't see that well because we were kind of leaving. And the other one was. I don't even know who sings that song. If you follow me on YouTube, I put some videos on that. You can find me with my name, Alina Igrad. On YouTube, you can try and find the video for you to see what song I'm talking about. But it's like a pop song. And then we had to go and grab the. We had to go and grab the car that we were leaving the following day. Okay, and now I'm going to end with the story of betting $20 more. So my husband was like, I can't believe that I've lost the money. Like I'm like, this is how they get you. So number one, I also have to mention that I took videos in the casino, and that's a very no, 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 no. And honestly, I was shocked. Shocked that number one, I didn't know that. Shocked that number two, I didn't see any signs. Like, I was like, I'm sorry, does everybody know that you're not supposed to record videos in a casino? How come I'm the dumb tourist? Because I want to believe that I'm not a dumb tourist. So I was shocked that somebody had to tell me, Miss, no pictures, no videos, or whatever. So that was a bit frustrating. But, so one time more we tried, I had $20, he had $20, but I said, no, 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 no. Let's go to the cheap machine, the one that you can bet 1 cent. Like that's the thing that you can bet. And you can bet like every 8 cents or like 5 cents. I don't remember. So I said, let's go and do that. So I got $20. I put them in. And I was around 10-ish bucks. And then I won back to 23. And I was like, should I take it out? I don't know. And I was like, I'm going to try some more. And then I kept saying to myself, okay, I'm going to stop at 15. Then I didn't. Then I'm going to stop at 10 because I would win a little bit after, but then lose it. And then I was at my last 60 cents. And so I've done it again. And then I only had 60 cents left. And then I won all the way back to 28. And I was like, okay, I'm taking the money out. That's it. That's what I'm about to do. So I took the money out. I stopped. I took the money out. I went and I actually took the cash out. I gave the $20 back to my husband, thanking him that he didn't took any interest. And then I kept the $8. Also, another thing that you can do when you play the machines and the waitress comes along, you can have free drinks. But I wasn't fully prepared, so I didn't know. Apparently, you can have any kind of drinks that you want. And I was like, a mojito? I just didn't know what the fuck to say. And also, I didn't have anything to give her as like a tip, because you're supposed to tip the waiter because it's free drinks, but you're supposed to tip the waiters like $1 or $2. And I grabbed the drink and then we just left. I'm like, well, at least I got my free drink. So, yeah, I have to say that looking back, I don't think that we've done Las Vegas as it should have, like as you should do Las Vegas. But thinking about me, I think I've done Las Vegas enough to be like, okay, I'm all right with this city. Like, I don't necessarily, if I ever get to Las Vegas again, I don't want to spend there more than 1 day or 1 night. I'm like, it's fine. I don't know if it's because I'm so used to New York, or it's just because I'm not into, like, it's making me anxious to just lose money for no reason. Everything is expensive. It's very touristy. So done and done, I don't necessarily feel like, oh my God, this was an incredible blah, 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 blah. It's just a city that you have to see. I'm curious to hear from you if you have been to Las Vegas or if you're planning to go to Las Vegas. What are some of the things that you have seen, or what are you looking forward to? Let me know. I'm gonna be back next week. This concludes today's episode. Thank you for listening and for reviewing Traveling Inside Out. If you want to to get in touch with me, send an email to podcast@alinaigrad.com. And remember, your outdoor journey begins with inner work. Until next time, bye.